Good morning and welcome to the new edition of Frontiers of Knowledge segment of Dr. Lamba's Awakening Call. Today, the biggest problem facing mankind is not the nuclear change, the climate change, but the shortage of water. From Sydney, Australia, passing on to India, passing on to California, through China, the whole globe is facing water shortage, so much so that in Harare, Zimbabwe this year, the city had to turn off water in the neighborhoods for weeks together. People couldn't get it. Kahira witnessed not only water's rationing, but horrible shortage. Same is true of India, where in Madras and the southern India, water shortage was so severe that the people had to purchase and walk. And this is a normal phenomena in areas of desert, like areas of Rajasthan. So, as a matter of fact, millions of people are suffering from it. And the world population is so much suffering that almost 50% of the world population suffers from the water shortage. We in Canada may not be aware of it. And they say that the biggest problem we are going to face is water shortage resulting in water wars. But the scientists have come up with a new solution to the problem. They have developed a new material, nanomaterial, which can be used in HVAC system, large HVAC system in a commercial building, say. You can use it in a small AC as well. And it can produce in a large system in a commercial building of 25 stories, thousands of gallons of water in 1 hour. Thousands of gallons of water can be produced in 1 hour. And from where does the water come? It sucks up water from the atmosphere. And now there's something important to notice, that this water shortage is from the atmosphere, and that is a continual renewable source. We use water, it goes to the streams go to the ocean, clouds suck up the water, it goes to the atmosphere, your HVAC system sucks up the water, so the cycle continues and it's a renewable source, never ending. So what more can people want? And as a matter of computation, it has been found that 1,000 of the world's water is in the atmosphere, but it's everywhere, infinitely renewable. Take out the water, recycles it, goes back to the atmosphere. And this is the first time that this has been done on such a large scale. The molecules is an organization which has done it, and what they have done is that they have 30 different materials to choose from. And ultimately they found one material which is like a sponge. It works on a very low humidity. It can work everywhere. It can work in deserts. It can work in humid climates. And more important, it has the need of a very low energy for recycling. Other systems have to use a lot of energy. They are guzzlers. So a lot of energy was used earlier. Now, low energy would recover the material, capture the water, and do what you want. And this is the already most existing desiccant material, where every other desiccant material has failed. Wow, what a boon to the thirsty people, thirsty humanity by the scientists. And one thing more, what really happens is that when the people have water to drink, and the women don't have to walk 8 hours to get a pitcher of water, as happens in Africa and parts of India as well, then that is a real boon. And those people can devote their time to the better things. And then, we have found another thing that the glacial rivers absorb carbon faster than the rainforest. Till now, we were thinking that the Amazon rainforest were the ideal carbon sinkholes. No, they are not. They are better ones. The turgid frigid waters from the glaciers of the Arctic or Antarctica. For decades, these have pulled carbon into atmosphere, out of the atmosphere, at a rate much faster than the Amazon's rainforest. And according to them, the reasons are twofold. A, it's cold, so what is sunk in freezes, it's not released back. Secondly, there's no aquatic life. And since there's no aquatic life, the use of oxygen is not there and is not polluted. So it can take in. And according to Professor Perry of the University of British Columbia, that the rivers are extremely, extremely useful. Now, here's the problem. Yesterday, I talked about the new technology, the new knowledge given by the University of Lausanne in Switzerland, where they said that the mountain streams pollute more, they give out more carbon. And here is the American scientists saying that no, they do not give out the carbon, they absorb the carbon. Whom to believe, whom not to believe? Future would tell. But if I look at it dispassionately, not as a scientist, but as a human being, if we melt water, and it has been done at Asmere Island in Nunavut, various glaciers, we find that they contain frozen carbon. So they cannot be placed. But then there is one thing common in both our technologies. Here they say the turgid waters of the mountain, the glacial waters. There they say the mountain streams coming down. So maybe they are sinkholes in the beginning and then the emitters later on. In temperate waters, in the plain waters, there is a bounty of organic material, plant life, fish, and that results in higher decomposition, meaning those bodies of water emit a far greater amount of carbon dioxide atmosphere than they can absorb. But the glacial streams do not teem with the organic material. There's neither a plant life there, not much of it, nor there's aquatic life. So they are able to absorb much more. And then they say in the glacial rivers with a milky appearance and the silt-laden compositions, they're not suited to the aquatic life. So the fish don't go there. Other marine aquatic animals don't go there, not by choice, but by necessity. And the necessity is that they will not be able to have anything to eat. But anyway, whatever it is, the chemical weathering process enables this to happen and it creates and binds different particles together. So different particles bound together by the extremely cold weather makes that a sort of a net and into which the carbon is absorbed and they become carbon sinkholes. And now they have done what they have done is that they have used the effect of chemical weathering in removing carbon dioxide from atmosphere as far as away 42 kilometers from the headquarters of a river. So imagine within its area of 42 kilometers, one river can absorb all the carbon dioxide and making that place absolutely pollution free. Then the Prime Minister doesn't have to levy the carbon tax, isn't it? And then, another pollutant today we know is our electric appliances, especially refrigerators. We are aware that argon, the gas earlier used, has been banned, but still they give a lot of emissions which are polluting, which are harmful. They are no longer retro fridges, which used to be. They are almost forgotten, but modern fridges are a step up. However, they are still emitters of carbon and they are still polluted. So, how to cool food, how to preserve food? But the Electrolux has come up. Their inventive engineers, their innovative engineers have come up with an idea and a new concept. What they have developed is a wall-mounted panel. So there's a panel. You mount it on the wall, and this panel is filled with a biopolymer gel. Okay, and this gel is something you can place your food inside to it. It's a non-sticky, but it's a goo type. So in this biopolymer, which is non-sticky, which is like a goo, you place your packet of food in that, and it remains refrigerated. No consumption of energy, no emission, just a goo. You place it in the panel. The panel is mounted on the wall, so you save the space, you save energy, and voila, you don't create any emission. Very, very amusing experiment has taken place in the research just from the University of Richmond. They have used science to train rats to be what? To be drivers. So they have made the cars made of plastic wood containers and there are three copper bars. And you train the rats to use those copper bars to move the car forward, steer it, and the skills improved perceptibly. Now, that experiment is being used to study how Parkinson's affects the motor skills and depression impacts the motivation. And how, with the same technology, can the Parkinson's patients not be taught how to improve their motor skills? If rats can drive a motor car and they can be your driver, why can't the same methodology enhance the motor skills of Parkinson's disease? That's the aim. And wow, if that happens, it would be a boon to the people suffering from Parkinson's and maybe to dementia and Alzheimer's. Today, almost 37% of the aged population suffers from these diseases. And they are not only debilitating, they are killing diseases. They dehumanize a person. So this is the new development and a further addition to our frontier of knowledge. And now, something good for you, but not too good. We have always been told by the scientists, don't look at the videos, don't look at the computers, don't look at the televisions, don't look at your smartphones for a long period. They are harmful. Their eyes they can be eye damaging. They can affect your thinking skills, but no. The new research from Oxford University shows that the fears are unfounded. In fact, the Oxford Internet Research Institute has found that a moderate screen time is associated with good social effects, positive social effects. It helps you remove monotony. It helps you develop social skills. And may not be in real time, may not be in physical time, but it's there in real time. When I'm talking to you, I'm not touching you, I'm not seeing you, but you are seeing me, you are hearing me. So when you watch, your social skills are being improved, and that has a positive social effect. Today, loneliness is one of the biggest crises facing people. And you are lonely in crowds. But here, you are lonely, alone, but not lonely because you are interacting with the people. And they say that this screen time is especially useful for the people who are suffering from mental health issues. And they can use these devices as curing their loneliness. Isn't that great? So everything they say has a positive side and a negative side. And this has a positive side. Ultimately, some solace is given to the screen watchers, and they need not feel guilty about watching because they are developing social skills. A, they are developing their contacts. B, they are interacting socially and humanly. Well, friends, in this episode, we see how the pollution is being tackled, how the climate change cannot be tackled, but it can be delayed, and that's what the scientists are doing, and how every advance is not a bad thing. There can be a positive aspect as well. There's a silver lining in all the clouds. See you next week. Thank you.